visual representation of the AQI over the span of the last 3 weeks in the national capital. The AQI levels have hit disastrous heights and still remain in the poor category. You can see, of course, the visuals on your screen of India Gate today morning, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and then, of course, what it looked like today. As you can see by the sheer blanket of smog that is engulfed the national capital, the situation is not getting any better. Well, we are, of course, live with you on Deepdive, which, of course, is NewsX's special segment. You're watching this with me, Uday Pratap Singh, today. And according to a report that has been released by Akhilesh Mishra, CEO of Bluecraft Digital Foundation, which comprises of what really causes Delhi to become a gas chamber, the downstream effects of pollution, especially for the poor, and the possible solutions. Let's take a deeper look at this document and what exactly it states and proposes. The report states that Delhi faces a severe annual air pollution crisis each winter, often ranking amongst the most polluted cities in the world. While activist attention disproportionately targets Diwali firecrackers, this paper highlights that the real drivers of Delhi's toxic air are continuous year-round pollution sources. It has taken a deeper look at the sources, the first being road dust, the largest contributor to PM pollution. The report claims that road dust contributes 38 to 56% of the pollution. Delhi's roadsides, from central avenues to fringe lanes, are flanked by open soil, broken pavements and stagnant construction dust. Passing vehicles whip this into the air daily, triggering chronic exposure. The second source, according to the report, is the vehicular emissions, which contribute to about 15 to 25% to PM 2.5, despite large vehicle numbers. Other global cities with similar per capita car mounts maintain clean air via better road clearing, enforcement and fewer non-vehicular pollutants. The third source stated is the biomass and garbage burning, widespread amongst low-income communities for heat and waste disposal, winter nighttime smoldering drives, ultra-fine particle explosions across the Indo-Gangetic plain. Another contributor that has been talked about is diesel generator sets. Thousands of these operate during outages or by default in markets and residences, emitting toxic exhaust at ground level. CAQM flags uncontrolled DG sets as major deteriorators of air quality. The other contributor talked about in the report is crop stubble burning. On peak days, this could cause 40 to 50% of Delhi's particulate burden as smoke blows in from Punjab and parts of Haryana as well as western UP. Seasonal averages understate the danger of short burst smog disasters that overwhelm hospitals. The document emphasizes that Diwali firecracker smoke is sharp but short-lived. It dissipates within 24 hours with wind changes. Unlike the persistent baseline from dust, biomass, fires, DG sets and stubble, years of bans on fireworks have failed to stop severe smog peaks, proving policy misprioritization. Firecrackers became a soft political target as deeper governance reforms on infrastructure and enforcement were avoided. The report also proposes a technically feasible, time-bound plan that can permanently reduce winter smog if priorities shift from symbolism to execution. There is a three-pillar plan proposed by the report. The first solution is the one-year dust-free Delhi mission. Under the proposed one-year dust-free Delhi mission, every roadside edge will either be paved or covered with greenery. That means no exposed soil anywhere. The city's biggest dust source sealed off for good. From footpaths to central verges, the goal is simple: stop loose dust from flying into the air, one patch at a time. The second step in the dust-free mission is all about keeping the city's roads and construction sites under control. Mechanical sweepers will replace manual cleaning, using suction systems to trap dust instead of spreading it. And at construction sites, strict dust barriers, debris covers, and regular water sprinkling will become mandatory. The message is clear: development, yes; dust, no. Well, the results could certainly be transformative. The report states these steps, if enforced citywide, could cut Delhi's particulate pollution by up to 1/3 within a year. Cleaner air, smoother mobility, better business, and a more beautiful city. The mission promises not just clearer skies, but a clearer future for Delhi. Every winter, smoke from Punjab and Haryana chokes Delhi's skies, but that could soon change. Under the 2-year stubble burning elimination plan that has been proposed, farmers will get heavy subsidies for machines like happy seeders and mulchers. These devices let farmers sow the next crop without having to burn the leftover straw, cutting down farm fires right at the source. The plan also focuses on changing what farmers grow and how crop residue is used. By encouraging crop diversification and linking farmers to the biomass and energy industry, leftover stubble can be sold instead of burned. That means the same straw that once polluted Delhi's air could soon power factories and fuel clean energy projects. But incentives alone won't work. Once viable alternatives are in place, the government should move to strict enforcement, ensuring that burning fields is no longer an easy escape. With penalties and monitoring in place, the aim is to make farm fires a thing of the past. If implemented effectively, this two-year plan could transform Delhi's November skies. Report says the region's air quality could improve dramatically, turning the smog season into just another autumn and bringing a long-awaited breath of fresh air to North India. Delhi's fight against pollution is set to go deeper, this time targeting the city's hidden emitters. The report talks about a 3-year action against remaining major sources. Over the next 3 years, plans to phase out all diesel generators and replace them with solar power backed by battery storage have been proposed. From hospitals to housing societies, every building is to be nudged towards cleaner, uninterrupted power, ending the dark smoke from backup gensets once and for all. Another major move proposed under this 3-year action plan is a total ban on burning biomass and garbage. These small but frequent fires are amongst the biggest winter polluters. The plan links this ban to better waste collection systems and access to affordable clean energy, so people no longer need to burn waste for cooking or warmth. The idea is simple: make clean choices easy and burning possible. Finally, the push towards a clean mobile Delhi. The last point under this plan proposes the city to aim to ramp up electric vehicles and public transport, introduce congestion controls, and ensure industries run only on approved clean fuels. Together, these steps target the hardest to time emissions from cars, trucks, and factories to ensure the city's progress does not come at the cost of its air. Joining us live to discuss this report in further detail is Padma Shri Sanjeev Bagai, Chairman, Nephron Clinic. We also have Indrashekhar Singh, Agri-Policy Analyst, joining us live. Dr. Bagai, what do you make of the report, the causes that it's pinpointing towards, and some of the solutions it's offering as well?
Good evening. I think this report is good. Now the question really lies, the devil lies in the detail, is how it is going to roll out, how it is implemented, and how the policies are going to be enforced. So let me put some statistics in front of everyone first. We suffered so much during COVID. We lost close to around 6 to 7 lakh innocent Indians over 4 years. Please understand, we are losing 3 million Indians every year because of air pollution. That means it's 10 times the impact of COVID year after year and every year. We are losing almost 10 years of our adult life. For every 10% increase in PM 2.5, we have a twofold, that's a 200% increase in cardiac, respiratory, and metabolic complications. Almost 25% of Indian overall all-cause mortality deaths is directly because of air pollution. Whatever AQI is coming out in the open public domain is a 25% underestimation. These are Delhi-based studies. Because of the hygroscopic aerodynamic nature of the PM 2.5 in early morning, during the relative humidity and fog, they tend to cluster together. This is known as a clustering effect. So whatever we are counting is about 25% lower. So the AQI in real time, on ground reality, is a lot more. This is one of the main contributors to premature deaths. We have more than 60% of chronic obstructive lung diseases because of air pollution. We have more than an 80% increase in cancers in the last 10 years. Infertility, involving pregnancies, unborn fetus, it damages the DNA. That means it causes cancer. It causes more chromosomal breakages. It causes heart attacks, brain strokes, bone disease, and so on and so forth. The list goes on and on. There is no organ in the body which is spared. The major contributors, as far as I'm concerned, in Delhi are the local generating emissions. We have to get the public transport in order. There has to be zones in Delhi during peak hours, especially in winter months, in which no private vehicle is allowed unless and until it's a government EV bus as public transport. We have to have multi-level car park. We can't have crowded pavements on 3 sides in which there is a traffic congestion. We need digital tracking of the traffic. Worldwide, it is being done in major metros. You talk about road dust. Why is only 60 to 70% of the road laid in the center, and every year the road gives away? It doesn't happen overseas. The road has to be tarred with proper material so that it doesn't give away. Roads cannot be dug month after month by different agencies, and then it is left unsettled and untarred. And with regards to the polluting industrials outlets in Delhi, irrespective of what it takes, they have to move out of Delhi. And very, very important is in terms of the be it Punjab or Haryana or any other state, we need a multi-state task force put together in which farm fires have to stop. Pollution can be controlled. I dare say it cannot go away. It can be controlled. We need to now start thinking of our next generation. 5 months of winter is equivalent to smoking 8,000 to 9,000 cigarettes by a human being without touching a cigarette. Let that sink in. That's the damage we are causing to our lungs, heart, and brains. Strokes, dementia, early onset of Alzheimer's, memory loss, sleep disturbances, cognitive dysfunction. The list is endless. It's staring at our face. We are having hospitals flooded with respiratory symptoms because that's the first touch.
Yes.
We have seen in a 24-hour period, again, these are published studies, especially in children, there is acute diminishing lung function from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. with a level of AQI. We are also have to address the micro nanoparticles of plastic, which are harming us. We have to address the volatile gases, hydrofluorocarbons, and heavy metals. Last 30 seconds. Heavy metals piggy bank on your micro nanoplastic and activate them. So they form more gaseous compounds like methane, SOx, NOx. These are all class 1A carcinogens. We have to stop this ecopolis. We can't have human lives lost for something which is largely preventable.
Yes, clearly, of course, and a lot of the report outlines that, Indrashekhar. The causes, not just the easy ones that are, the quickest for us to blame, but the other ones that do contribute substantially to high PM levels through the year. And also, interestingly, some other ways to combat them, to obfuscate them. What do you make of this report and its findings, Indrashekhar?
First of all, it's music to my ears because in my own work, I've actually talked about these points, especially related to agriculture and some of the other aspects. I've always said this out, and this report is actually a wonderful report. But the devil lies in the detail and also in the implementation in this case. All of the mind, there is a general consensus today among the scientists, among the environmentalists, even I'm sure like among some members of the government and even in the political class, that these are some of the functions that need to be implemented to save the city. Now, I would like to talk about two particular aspects of that, and especially the biomass side and the agriculture side. And beginning with the biomass side, I think it's completely a great idea, and this also has been said many times. Why are we burning the leaves and all the scrap, the organic scrap that we are getting in the city? The MCD or various corporations within councils within the city are actually burning the dried leaves. Every evening we can see, whether it's summer or it's winter, we every time see the burning of these leaves. Even if we look at the major landfills around the city, you will find that there's always fire burning in them. So what are we doing to finish that? That's one of the major challenges. For the leaves and other organic waste, why can't we have small little compost pits within all the community parks or even within the RWA parks, so that we get two things. First, we have a very good natural way of decomposing the organic matter. And second, we get very good compost. So our fertilizer bill will be lesser to maintain these gardens and the tree around in these parks. So that's benefit number one. Now, second, we have to address the problem of burning gases at the landfills. I think no one's talking about it. What are we really doing to ensure that the landfills in Delhi and around Delhi are actually reducing and not increasing? We should really get this at least on a war footing, because it's the government's lands. The government has all the authority. There will be no person objecting to it. What can we do to really reduce our landfills so these gaseous burnings and emissions don't happen there all throughout the year? Now, moving towards agriculture, I think one thing that the report did miss out was actually the stress on organic agriculture. They said that we should diversify, which is a very good way. I must commend them on that. But how to diversify, that's the big question that the farmers are asking. Even if we diversify, for example, from paddy to moong dal or like corn, our profits will fall in a very drastic way, because the per acre production is much lesser than of rice when compared to paddy or rice. So how is the farmer going to get that income support? I think that needs to be really thought about. Whether can we, through either direct DBTs to the farmers' accounts, direct bank transfers, or having a organic procurement policy where farmers, when they're growing whatever is good according to the agroclimate and also according to the international export market or to the organic market, they are getting a guaranteed purchase. So they don't have to worry about growing paddy, and they're also not suffering economically or socially. I think the whole Punjab question rests on two factors at this stage. One is getting the right machinery to them. And second, how are they going to find the money if they basically switch to other crops? So if we can provide them the money, which does not disturb their life, through another crop, I think the problem of stubble burning in Punjab can finish within a year or two. So the government needs to really get on board, get the agriculture ministries involved, get the procurement ministries involved, and say, listen, this is a special package for Punjab. And don't count this as a food subsidy. Count this as an environmental and ecological service that these farmers are providing us. So it's a completely new style of climate and pollution governance that the government can actually pioneer and say that, you know what, we've solved this problem using agriculture as a vehicle. So this is a very, very important point that should be taken. And then I must also say that the agricultural scientists should actually develop new varieties of rice in which the straw and the stubble is edible. So the farmer can also be a dairy milk producer, can have cattle, can have goats, and the straw then becomes precious fodder for the farm animals. That's how all of India functions, where there are non-green revolution varieties of rice. The farmers cut the rice paddy and they feed it to their animals, and that's why they don't burn it. So we have to be very, very careful, and we have to rework with nature, because the industrial solutions have failed. And in fact, industrial solutions have got us to the problem to begin with.
Okay, let me in fact quickly also go back to you then, Dr. Bagai, about also the health alarm. Now, if these changes are not made that you spoke about earlier, and the report also talks about, what is the health emergency that our national capital is likely to face?
Okay, so very broadly, when you talk in terms of pollution, one of the known and the hallowed rascals is PM, which is the particulate matter. But the particulate matter can be 0.1, can be 2.5, can be 5, can be 10 micrograms. But the issue is there is something which is known as ultra-fine particulate matter, less than 1 micron, which is less than what you can actually even see through a microscope. These penetrate through the alveolar capillary membrane and they circulate all over the body. When you talk in terms of the other aspects apart from the particulate matter, it's gases and fumes, which include carbon monoxide, SOx, NOx, the oxidized forms of the nitrogens and the sulfur compounds, methane and benzene. These are highly potent carcinogens, hydrofluorocarbons, dust, free radicals, heavy metals, micro nanoparticles of plastic which get activated, biohazards like potassium nitrate. Now, what it actually does in the body for a common person to understand in simplified languages, it activates your immune system and then diffuses it. So your body then is a sitting duck to any infection. It causes acute and chronic inflammation in perhaps every body organ. It causes endothelial dysfunction. That means your blood vessels, cell lining inside is disrupted. It causes macrophage, which are your fighting cells in your body, and others to get activated. It is cytotoxic. It kills the cell. It is genotoxic. It damages your chromosome. So what we are going to see, what we are already seeing right now, is a huge burst of respiratory infections. We are even seeing hypertension cases in children. This impacts obesity. It impacts diabetes mellitus. And they say in years to come, we will see huge amount of stunting. No one talks about the physical growth of children. This has almost a 30 or 40% impact on the overall structural growth, height, and weight of a child. As it is, a large section of India is still undernourished. Children who are on the streets, sitting on the road crossings, are getting impacted the most. So this is a long-term damage which is happening, and the disease burden is only going to increase. There is a recent study which has been published under Lancet Commission of Pollution. It is startling. It is showing a dramatic exponential increase in hypertension, MIs, which is heart attacks, non-revivable sudden cardiac arrest at home, hypertension, obesity, diabetes mellitus, chronic obstructive lung disease, bronchial asthma, and so on. So I think we need to take this on a war
Yes,
footing.
yes.
This should be priority number one.
Absolutely. And Indrashekar, if we begin today, how soon could we see the changes? Should there be different priorities short term and different ones long term?
See, absolutely. But for example, if today the government says that, we are going to increase parking rates for all vehicles during the winter months, the change can begin right now. If basically parking is 1,000 rupees an hour, you will see the difference in 1 hour, how many cars actually fare out in the city. And that will have an impact. Now, for long-term solutions, when it comes to agriculture, I think one of the key things that the government should do is actually have a bamboo plantation, on both sides of the peripheral ring road. And in fact, there should be more plantation because we have short time. That's why bamboo is this great crop that can grow very quickly and also absorb all this carbon and all the heavy metal and all the deadly gases the Dr. Saab talked about very soon. So we can begin with short-term goals, short-term action plans and long-term action plans at the same time if the government is willing. For example, like this bamboo thing can actually fruit up in 3 years, and while it's growing, it's still absorbing all the pollutants. So that we can also earn carbon credits. All our roads can earn carbon credits if we have plantations like this. So that's extra revenue for the government. Now, if we tell the farmers that, hey, listen, we are going to start a registry program for all of you to register on, then we will provide you the income support. Punjab, and especially it is also pointed in the news that 6% of these villages in Punjab are actually the major reason for Delhi's pollution. Why don't we begin there? I think within 2 seasons, if the government is proactive in providing income support, at least that 6% of those villages can be turned in 2 years time period. Now, furthermore, I would say that you have to understand that the problem has natural solutions. We have the IITs and everybody, and I'm going to conclude with that. Don't go for the happy seeder. Don't go for whatever, these foreign machines. Have a new machine designed by the IITs, an indigenous machine, which is for the farmer of Punjab, designed specially. So this problem is not just finished to Punjab, but any place that dares to grow this industrial revolution paddy variety. Thank you.
All right. My thanks to our guests for joining us on this segment.